Welcome to the microphone, Dr. David Klein of the Stages of Life Institute. I'd like for you to write this down. I'd like for you to put it into your search engine and then make it a favorite. StagesOfLifeVitamins.com. StagesOfLifeVitamins.com. That is a program that will put you on the path of getting the nutraceuticals you need on time, every time, and at a discount. All right, today we wanted to talk about malaise. You just don't feel active. You know, some might call it depression, but you just feel down. Your body has no energy anymore. You just don't have any drive to do anything. You know, better yet, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. Doctor, what's it all about?
Well, malaise really comes from the French word for mal, which means illness, and that you have a sense that there's something not quite right. You know, so what is it? I just don't feel good. I just don't have what I used to have. What is wrong, doctor? Okay, very, very common complaint. Well, what can cause malaise? The answer is just about everything. Okay, so how do you go about diagnosing what's wrong? How do you figure out how to help somebody when their main symptom is so very, very vague? Well, it goes a little something like this. It has to be done systematically, and you start, oddly enough, with metabolism, because the most common causes of malaise in the general population may not be depression, it may not be sleep disorder, but more times than not, it's going to be hormonal. Now, what does this mean? Most common cause of depression is hypothyroidism. What's the principal complaint there? I just don't feel right. I can't get up and go. La, 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 straight on down the line. And that's 1/3 of the adult population in this country. 1/3 of all adults floating around out there have either frank hypothyroidism or subclinical. What does that cause? It causes malaise. So how do you sort your way through this? Well, the first thing you want to do is to take your temperature. And I don't mean stick your forehead into one of these machines at Walgreens. No, what you do is you buy yourself something called a thermometer. It should be in your bathroom. Now, if you want to go old school and get a mercury thermometer, that's a brilliant way to ruin your house. You drop that thermometer, the mercury gets into the tile, and guess what? You now have a biohazard that costs many tens of thousands of dollars to clean up. So what do? A, get rid of the ones you have, take them to the fire station. They know what to do with them. But you get yourself a digital thermometer. The best ones are ear thermometers, and you want to get an idea of what your temperature is doing. It's not enough to think that you're febrile or you're not febrile. You need to know your temperature. If your temperature is running low, that means below 98 degrees in the morning, odds are you are hypothyroid. If that's the case, you should be treated. Easy thing to do, fairly easy thing to diagnose, and treatment is cheap. It is something that any doctor can do if they're willing to try to figure this thing out. But you can become hypothyroid a bunch of different ways. Another of which is to develop something called adrenal fatigue. Your body has to kick out enough pregnenolone, enough DHEA, enough testosterone, and cortisol in order to function. Well, you know something? Those statins that you're taking, you think they're brilliant, you think they're marvelous because you're taking the CoQ10 with it because you're that smart to prevent the muscle spasm, but you're doing nothing about the conversion of cholesterol to pregnenolone, which is the root adrenal hormone leading to the production of 150 adrenal hormones that are necessary for your well-being. So oddly enough, the statins are a very, very common cause of malaise. So now we've probably wiped out about 70% of the people out there that are complaining of just not feeling right. Now we're going to move our way down to the next 10%, and that would be insulin resistance syndrome. What does this mean? It means that, are you pre-diabetic? Well, it depends on who you ask, okay? But your insulin level starts to climb up just to maintain a normal to a normal high blood sugar. And you're going to go, well, that's fine because my pancreas must be working because it's kicking out a lot of insulin, and everybody knows that insulin's good for you. I resent you calling me everybody because the fact of the matter is having a low insulin is far better than having a high insulin. Why? High levels of insulin do two really miserable things. One, they put fat on you. Okay, everybody's happy about that. Okay, so as the insulin levels go up, so does your waistline. Remediable, yes. But more importantly, as insulin goes up, so does your systemic inflammation. Systemic inflammation is the killer. What does this lead to? It leads to cardiac disease. It leads to dementia. What does that mean? It's thought that Alzheimer's dementia is diabetes type 3. Go figure this one out. So if you don't know your insulin level, okay, you are on, in my humble opinion, borrowed time. It's like driving down the interstate without a speedometer. Now, you might be able to gauge it based upon other vehicles, but you really don't know what is going on. You certainly don't have much of a defense if you're pulled over. The same thing is true about knowledge of what's going on within your body. So malaise can be caused simply by the hormone system being slightly out of balance. There are other ways that this can happen. So what about calcium metabolism? So you have thyroid disease. Well, I know this because my doctor has me on thyroid medications. Brilliant. Did anybody check your parathyroids? Because when the parathyroids get wonky, and more times than not, it has a reason. What's the reason? Let's say it's irritation from the thyroid itself. Parathyroid levels go up, and so your calcium levels will start to do odd things, leading to malaise. It leads to the sense of feeling sick. What else can make you feel sick? Okay, infection can do it. Subclinical infection is very, very common. But there are things that you can have that will drive you completely out of your mind without really knowing what's going on. So let's take a man, for example. Okay, men have something that women don't have. Go figure. It's called a prostate. Okay, subclinical prostatitis can lead to malaise. How does this work? Really, really cool. I love this problem. Why? Because it's so predictable. So 1/3 of all men have E. coli prostatitis. They're just floating around with it. The prostate enlarges, but something magical happens. They can't pee. So what do? They get up in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 times a night. If your sleep is being interrupted by nocturia, which is what this syndrome is called, you're going to feel like crap. Okay, you can't sleep, you can't focus, you're going to hell in a handbasket. So your prostate is important to you. So if you're a woman, the prostate's equally important to you. Why? Because the guy isn't going to let you get any sleep either. Now here's where the joke is. And the joke is that women have smaller bladders than men typically. Okay, so the guys for all those decades had to pull over by the side of the road or whatever, to make sure that the women were comfortable as you were going on those road trips. Now it's the guy's turn. So turnabout is fair play. Unfortunately, it does cause issues like malaise. Well, what about vitamin and mineral deficiencies? And this is the one that's probably the most easily treated. Zinc and selenium deficiency lead to the thyroid issue. Vanadium and chromium lead to the insulin issue. So mineral deficiencies can lead to the sense of malaise or something is not quite right. So we're out there, we're buying vitamin and mineral products thinking that they're going to make us feel better, but they don't typically do that unless they actually deliver what you're asking for. The minerals themselves in most of the big box items are not bioavailable any more than eating rust would bring your iron level up. In order for your body to absorb minerals, they have to be in what's called a chelated product, which is an organic molecule. Not to be confused with, gee, I only buy organic eggs. I don't know anything about organic eggs. I don't know anything about organic meat, but I know a lot about organic chemistry. And if you have an inorganic compound of calcium, magnesium, or zinc, your body can't absorb it. It is physically not likely to happen. So it has to be in the right moiety. What does this mean? It means that the calcium carbonate in your calcium tablets is about as useless as trying to use chalk. Okay, why? Because that's what it is. It's chalk. It's garbage. So in order for your body to get the right nutrients, they have to be presented in the right form. Malaise. So what else can cause it? The medications that you're taking can cause malaise. So you've got blood pressure issues. The blood pressure medications have a tendency to cause depression. Wouldn't you know it? The beta blockers tend to throw the thyroid into a tizzy. Lowers thyroid function, lowers your metabolic rate. What does this lead to? It leads to going into double low gear, okay? Because your thyroid is the means and mechanisms that your body uses to adjust your basal metabolic rate. So the beta blockers that you're taking for blood pressure can make you feel pretty crappy. Now, there are places for these things, but you have to take them in moderation, and you certainly have to take them with a grain of salt, as it were.
All right, and many of the things the doctor talked about are available at your nutraceutical store, which is now 23rd Century Get to You. And that is stagesoflifevitamins.com, stagesoflifevitamins.com, where the nutraceuticals come to you in a timely fashion, therefore giving you better cash control, better cash flow, and you get a 15% discount. What about that? All right, check it out. stagesoflifevitamins.com. And here's more contact information.
Our phone number is 407-679-3337, and our website is stagesoflife.net. We're located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-4 and 434. And let's see, our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. The health store that Rob mentioned with all of our nutraceuticals is open during those office hours, but we're also on the web, as I said, at stagesoflife.net, and you can purchase your nutraceuticals at your leisure, and we will ship them to you. And we